Welcome everybody to the two-man power trip, the black man's thought and the nerd lifestyle. I'm Nicholas, Mr. Go With The Flow.
And I'm the man with the plan, Maurice.
And we're back with another edition of the Blerd By Nature Podcast. What's up, what's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good. Black Anime Podcast number 202 in the building. How you doing? What's up?
All right, that's good, bro. What's good? So how's your week been?
All right, let's step in the vibe, guys. Yeah, the week been, it's been alright for the most part. Chilling, what's not.
Alright, that's what's up. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's been a pretty standard week. Nothing special.
Yeah, nothing extra out of the woodwork or stuff like that. Stepping back, going into, past weekend and stuff like that. Since we last left off, you know, your usual Friday half days, and then we entered into the weekend. So, the culmination of about 3 years in the making. We finally seen our boy out there wrestle.
Yeah, we saw. Ooh, we calling this the Brooklyn Screw Job?
I guess so. Yeah. the Jobber Slam shift up, the Brothers Connection. I don't know the whammy slammy. I don't know that man. That man hopped up on a plane for hours to come here and find out what Brooklyn about.
Right, he really did. Listen, I was like, ooh. I'm like, well.
Man, I was saying it too. When I was watching the whole shit go down, I was like, man, yo, I wonder if Mr. Black gonna get involved. And boy, did they have that idea cooked up.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. Soon as I saw him slide in the ring, I was like, the fix is in.
Yo, after that whole thing was finished and stuff like that, he came back to us. He was like, how did I do? How was that slide in the ring? I was like, I didn't even see shit from that angle.
Yeah, but I saw him with the smooth slide. I was like, oh, here we go.
Killing that 1-2. Fuck out of here. Yep. And his best rock impression.
Yes. Cyber Dude was up. He was like,
he said shit ain't going down. So now real question is, did my son Simon get his chopped cheese?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah. Or did they get it, stomp on it, and then give it to him?
Oh,
that's his consolation prize when he going back home. They give him a chopped cheese.
Right. Oh, man. Yo.
I want to hear the ups and downs about that. What's his ups and downs experience about being in Brooklyn?
Oh, man. Well, you know his downs going to be his getting beat down. So.
Plot twist, man. He give it a super up.
Oh,
no. He learned a valuable lesson.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that was a good time. Shout outs to Battle Club and everybody involved, the crew at Jabba Tears, and putting that together. I definitely feel in my heart of heart Wilkins is working us. Talk about his last match. I know.
Oh yeah, I think that.
I know he getting booked for more.
Yeah, I think that's a load of malarkey too.
Oh hell yeah, he's 100% a worker now because he's hitting us with the retirement tour already.
Right. And I don't think Simon let that L go that easy.
Oh hell no. They running a series. He gonna be coming back. Shit, fuck around and find out. Then when we coming back with the plane, we turn around, Simon.
For real, yo.
He said, I heard y'all going back. I'm coming with y'all.
Right? It's gonna be like Brock and Lashley, I'm telling you.
I mean, I have no problem with that. I absolutely have no problem with that. But yeah, the crew was all out. The family was all out. Me, Ken, and the co-host and a slew of all. It was good to see everybody. It's been a while since I see Avoca, everybody together, and everybody was together to watch Wilkins. And we was just like a family, man. Midway during that match was going down. It was just mad jokes going around. Especially in like the beginning where Wilkins was getting tossed and shit. I was like, damn, we waited 3 years to see homie get his ass whooped. I thought homie for a minute was gonna come back looking like Martin in the boxing episode.
Yo, shout out to our last guest, Bad Guy Jack, cause he was there too.
Yeah. I didn't know until I messaged him later. And he was like, "Y'all was there?" I was like, "Bro, how the hell did you miss us? We was a slew of jokes in the corner. How the hell did you miss us? I mean, especially us. We was by the kids."
Yeah, I hit him up too when I saw his stuff on Instagram. I was like, "Oh shit, he was there too."
Same here. Yeah, it was great. I got to meet famous Mr. Perry. Shout outs to all that and all the good stuff he done with the kids. The kids made that show.
They definitely did, yo.
When I tell you that, I keep saying it, and I'm on Twitter singing the praise of them all the time. But them kids, it's absolutely the future. They's definitely shifting the mindset and showing it how it's supposed to be. And they hyped about everything. When we tired and our energy is low because we old, these kids is definitely the energy that kick in.
Oh yeah, they was definitely kicking in. Yo, they gave Darius Carter, yo.
Man, that shit was great. That shit was great. That shit was great. Them coming into the entrance of the championship match and coming out and celebrating and shit like that. I guarantee you that shit made that guy a WrestleMania moment.
Oh, definitely, yo. And them kids was just living it up. They having the time of their lives.
That's great. And then, yo, like, just all this good stuff. And then imagine you was ever allowed, first of all, imagine a teacher actually taking you on field trips to see indie wrestling. And then on top of that, getting this interactive with indie wrestling and all that stuff. And all them shits them kids do. And that shit, them kids is the GOAT. I tell you, that club is the GOAT.
Yeah, like I said, they just have a great time. They are living it up.
Hell yeah. And then remember, they hit they GoFund racer thing to go to WrestleMania, so them kids gonna be lit.
Oh, they gonna be big lit.
They gonna be big lit, yo. So it's a great value to see them and the future wrestling and all that shit. That shit was great. So that was good. And after we came supporting and had a fun time with the show, went out to go grab some slices at Cuts and Slices in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you be cutting lines? Man, listen.
Yeah, cuts, lines, and slices and all that other shit.
It felt like a con.
I mean, let's be honest, we was there towards the end of the night, so I guess
you're right. Yeah, no.
Everybody was trying to get their fix in because we can't even lie. By the time we got our pizza, they were still on.
Yeah, that line behind us was wild.
So and there was the proof it was in the pudding. It was cold as fuck, and we was out there waiting for pizza, and a slew of other people was waiting too. So I'm shit.
But it was worth it.
Yeah, I was just about to ask how was your slice? How was the teriyaki oxtail?
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
That should slap for
slapped.
me. Yeah. I honestly think I think Kenya should have gotten the teriyaki oxtail because the ones that she had, she won two big ups. Like the chopped cheese was fine, but her stomach was wilding after that. And then the curry oxtail was too spicy. She don't fuck with the spice.
Oh, then definitely not the curry.
Yeah, I'm the one with the Jamaican tongue, so it's like that. The curry shrimp was fine with me, but like when she had the curry shrimp, she was slowly dying. Like I kept warning her against it because I had it for that lunch and she had it for dinner, and I watched her the whole time slowly like die every bite she took, and I was like, that shit's gonna. And that was already after the chopped tacking, and I was like, gonna while out later, you don't got to do this. I was like, you can split it with me. By the least, I could just eat it. Like damn, because I was in the midst of having my chopped cheese at that time.
Yeah, the chopped cheese hit too, but yeah, if you taking a hot chopped cheese, then you took the curry too. Oh boy.
Yeah, man, rough time. But nonetheless, if I go back there, I'm definitely trying to aim for the sweeter oxtails and shit like that. Like I definitely fucked with the teriyaki oxtail was nice, but I still want to try this chili oxtail.
Yeah, but definitely.
They definitely do that. And then I think this is the West Indian in me for sure because I know for a fact that it feels like the crust tastes like they made it out of like whatever dough they used for cocoa, because that shit was tasting like, it didn't taste like regular pizza dough at the top of the crust. It tastes like cocoa bread. And I feel like there's some West Indians in the back that was making like a whole slew of shit like that. That's how they could get like oxtail on pizzas.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. As I was eating it all started to come together. So Saturday was lit. Hopefully Saturday could be another lit time as the Royal Rumble's coming up. So we'll see if people reform for that as well.
Okay.
Yep. So like we were saying before, we pretty much chill. Nothing, no major shenanigans and shit like that, right?
Yeah, no, it was just a chill weekend.
Yeah, and then like into the work weekend, stuff like that.
Yeah, which I'm happy tomorrow's Friday.
Exactly. So we hitting the end point and stuff like that. So we chilling for the most part and stuff. So that's pretty good.
Is your protege still there?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about the protege is she works downstairs. So unless I got something that needs to be covered or I gotta like ask her something like that, she's downstairs doing a whole other stuff. She only covers me when I'm out and I'm there. So like she's just downstairs, so I don't even see her in the mornings or afternoons or anything. So I honestly don't know exactly if she's there or not because I don't see her.
Okay.
So she's only popping up. So next time she probably in the hot seat again is in March. So
yeah.
So that's leave for that. All
okay.
Right. But yeah. So that was it. Cool weekend. No super shenanigans on the bullshit. We good on that. So that's it for Vibe, guys, and we'll just step right into off the cuff. So off the cuff this week, I just wanted to talk about this has been a discussion as people are talking about on the timeline, various covering for the current show on HBO Max, the one that's getting popular acclaim, The Last of Us. I wanted to talk about what show or series made you believe the video game adaptation into something else like a curse was broken officially. Like what was the show or TV series or live action series just in general that went from like a video game to a TV show that you think in your mind like completely abolished the curse? Do you think it's like the current stuff that's going on now, or was there like an official thing in your head that you officially thought, okay, they can actually adapt this video game to like an actual show,
a TV show?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like live action. It could have been like a TV show live action. It could be or an animated series or like a movie.
Ooh, that's a tough.
I got one instantly that came to my mind.
Go ahead. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm thinking Castlevania. Castlevania slapped like a motherfucker. On Netflix, Castlevania was not supposed to hit as hard as it did, and we got more coming. But Castlevania, I mean, coming from a studio that wasn't like completely known at the time, and from the dub, like off rip, like they put money, time, effort, and all the maneuvering and storytelling all together, and like the cast is diverse, the shit is wild, and the shit that they do, the action, the blood, the content, everything gets to an extreme level. You get lore and mixed together everything from the video game that people see Easter eggs in and shit like that. It's a gradual growing of how good the series is, going by season, and it ended kind of good, like really, really good. So most people see that as a definitely dope acclaim off that. So that's one that comes to mind to me.
Okay.
And it was so good it got Kenya into watching animated stuff. Like she was dead against that shit though. My whole time of knowing Kenya, she wasn't fucking with anything that kind of looked like anime. That was the first thing that ever had Kenya like interested at all. Like before we was even dating, like back way when Castlevania first dropped and I decided to show her, that was the only thing that I could ever get her animated to actually watch.
Okay.
So that off rip, I was like, all right, so this is already something.
Ooh, I'm struggling to find something. If I had to say something, probably Sonic Prime did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm breaking that. I'm trying to go further back, but see this bad.
Well, on the bad side of the list I always think about that old Super Mario movie.
Oh.
But look what they doing now though.
Right.
I see the levels of comparison between that old one with R.I.P. to the legend of Bob Hoskins. But like that one was a complete whatever dystopia crap that they was trying to work on that people are trying to cap for today. I see the tweets once in a blue moon talking about, yeah, you know that movie was actually low key go. No, don't bullshit. Don't bullshit me. Don't bullshit the fandom. Like nothing about that movie people was fucking with. So don't even lie to yourself. But I mean, what we get now is a culmination. I know niggas ain't fucking with it because of Chris Pratt voice and X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you, niggas was in the trenches before nerds took over. Niggas was in the trenches. So I say we come a long way for people giving a fuck.
Yeah, so I'm taking that wait and see approach to see how that goes. But so far, it's doing better than what came previously.
Doing way better. First of all, it's animated and it looked like it. Like that's the bar, bro. That's the bar. It's animated and it's looking like it. That's it.
That's your first step.
Right,
that's your first step right there.
Yeah.
At least it looks like how it's supposed to.
Shit. But if I'm running off the list right now in my head, I say Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That's another one. That one got people back into the fucking game when they thought that game was DOA.
Yeah, it's been recent stuff that's been doing it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like I said, it's like the further I go back, the worse it gets.
Yeah, because nerds took over the industry. People who gave a fuck took over the industry. Like shit was actually looking tight quality. Even though there's a reverse on that shit. Now let's talk about Mortal Kombat the movie, because a couple years ago that Mortal Kombat movie dropped, but people still like the 90s version a little bit better. But that recent one is like closer to the games. But we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. That the character that they put in there, that cold motherfucker, is feeling like you taking an adaptation and then some studio told you to stick in an extra motherfucker and it just don't work out.
Yeah, he was just there for no reason. Like, why are you here?
We had that little thing where we talked about Cole and we kept saying,
yep.
What the fuck's going on? Why is he here? What's he doing? He was the part that everybody reviewed that movie, and every good thing you say about that movie, Cole is some bullshit.
Yep. And listen, we go back to the Resident Evil movies. We can go back to the Tomb Raider movies.
That's the thing. That's the thing I'm gonna say about Resident Evil. Resident Evil ain't get a good thing ever in live action form. Like Resident Evil's either something else entirely with what they did with Underworld and that other lady who was like running the movies and shit like that. Like she did that's a whole other side adaptation, and everything that they ever try to do like the video games always ends up like even the Netflix series still boo boo. That's how we got the nigga who looked like Butter Knife instead of Blade and shit like that. That shit where we all clown Lance Riddick for looking like the oldest Blade possible.
Yeah, bro. Yo,
I think it was Extreme Butter Knife. Like, come on, son. Why they put him in that shit? Why they give him fade? He a bald man.
Yeah, for real, bro. That was like, shit.
Sometimes it's definitely hit or miss, but more these days is definitely more alike. Freaking Arcane for League of Legends. When that dropped, that shit was a triumph in itself, and had people call it back for more in animation. That shit does something to put animation out on the forefront. That's not like from Japan and shit like that. So hey, man. There's more today than there was yesterday, just because more people got more heart in the game.
Yeah, because you think about all the stuff that came out currently. Like we talked about the Sonic movies.
Yeah,
you can talk about. I guess you could talk about Detective Pikachu if you want to go that route.
Yep, that too.
So a lot of stuff they recently they've been doing really well with.
Yeah, so I mean, shout outs to that, and shout outs to the growth in that, because I mean, people who grew up with this shit where people was trying to take adaptations in general and stuff like that. I mean, that work. Hell, the ultimate one is friggin' Pokemon series, Pokemon the movie, Pokemon like.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
the triumph of Pokemon moved from video games to the worldwide TV series that's still going on today. I mean, they the motherfucking powerhouse.
Yeah, and so like I said, I'm not gonna beat down all of the old movies because for a lot of them, the tech
some of them hit, some of them now.
Yeah, some of them either it was the story that wasn't there or the tech just wasn't there to do it.
Exactly. And give it up. So that's why we appreciate more today and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's why when we see all these articles, we always see about the breaking of the curse and shit like that, and we all sitting there like, the curse has been broken for a bit here and there, so it's like, guys, we kind of move past that.
It's like we finally got to a point where we got people in certain places that care about the story, so they wrote it right. Yeah. And then we finally got to that point where the tech was there to actually do it properly.
Exactly. I totally agree. Like, that's just how you go map. I mean, it's even from that point to comic turned real life. I mean, look at the whole Marvel industry and shit like that. It's like I mean, that's how you adapt and grow and maneuver all that stuff. That's how we do it for the better.
Yep.
All right. So closing off that off the cuff discussion, we move into nerd/reboot news. Got a couple stuff here. This week we found out that John Cena is going to be the cover of 2K23, and they came out with that trailer that is the synonymous joke of all time, so they wanted to run with it for the 2K23 trailer. The truly you can't see me John Cena.
Yeah, I was wondering why that cover was blank.
Yep. So homie was walking around and he was the true Invisible Man through the whole shit. I'm telling you, son, that all the Invisible Man movies missing out on this bag with John Cena, man.
Maybe he was already there, we just couldn't see him.
True. I mean, I heard low key that they're working on the sequel. So honestly, if John Cena's name ain't slapped at least somewhere on that shit, they missing the bag. They missing the Invisible Family bag.
I was like, but how you gonna be the Peacemaker and the Invisible Man?
Hey man, double duty, baby. They want Aquaman to be Lobo, so like, let's go. Oh shit. So yeah, we got that. That was the teaser / trailer and all the good stuff that comes out of that. That'll continue to be the game's update going into, I think it's dropping in March or stuff like that on Johnson's Legacies and all that stuff. So that's good. Next up on the news, we finally got our Invincible teaser. So I've been waiting for this dumb long, but we getting this late 2023. They dropped the teaser for the show Invincible, where they pretty much like talked about all the shit they had to do over these years. Like they put it out in flat. It was Invincible Mark and Alan just sitting there at a burger and stuff like that, and they was chilling, and homie was being up front. He was like, when are we getting more Invincible? And Mark was like, yo, do you know the amount of shit we gotta do to make sure this shit is crispy? So, I mean, I fell in love with the series after season 1. I ended up reading the comic twice in full. Shit's wild. So I give it up. I like the shit they gotta work on. The shit is gonna be crazy. Niggas is about to be talking about this shit like it's anime craziness. I love that America and Japan is like back in this game hard, that like they cooking for us. Like whatever they cooking for us in Japan in winter 2023, they got to match up with the craziness that Invisible got cooking for us at the same time. So I fucks with it. I fucks with all the shit coming out with that.
Yeah, yo, let's go Invincible season 2. Let's go.
We gonna see.
Let's go.
We gonna see Mark catch more hands.
Listen, maybe Mark finally give out some hands.
Shit, we about to see. On top of that, we got more teasers. We got a teaser from Netflix about Cobra Kai. We about to get season 6, which will be also the final season. So that must be the season probably based around the big tournament coming.
Makes sense.
Yep. The culmination and all that stuff. I mean, most people are saying after the slew of like season 5 and stuff like that, all the shit that happened, they figured that season 6 was probably going to be the end point, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. They're getting to their culmination point, so there's no point in dragging it out. Definitely. Some things.
Hey man, so there you go. At least they know that they're losing. They're bowing out at a high. But Cobra Kai, every time it drops, everybody's crazy about it. Shit's fire. So they wanna leave when they on top. So that's what's up. Yep. I fucks with it. And 6 seasons sound like a good healthy time.
Yeah, no, it's a good round number. Good way to end it off. They covered a lot. There's no point to drag it.
Exactly. And speaking of that, so we're gonna go into some more DC stuff. So this was announced earlier in the week, but at the same time, James Gunn talked about this on Twitter, saying, hands up, it's not on me, it's the studios that decided on this shit. But Titans and Doom Patrol has been canceled by on HBO Max and stuff like that. And they were saying it was a part of the new regime, but James Gunn, swatted that shit back and said, it's not because of us. They just decided to delete it off the studio. So Titans, I don't know if it's gonna be their part 2 to the season 4 that's gonna be their finale, or they're gonna have one more like 5 to wrap everything up. But yeah, they're pretty much
wow.
So that's a shame, because a lot of people actually do enjoy Titans in Doom Patrol. But I mean, everything that's going on right now in the series of shit like that, it's up in the air. Does it matter? Does it mix? Because Titans was around the same time with the CW shit and the movie shit and all that shit getting deleted. And then Shazam put out a new trailer, and everybody under the comments saying this is cool, and people are gonna probably go see it for fun. But none of this shit matters though, because Shazam's getting deleted too. So I mean, we're watching just to watch. I'm still questioning and wondering if they got is the new Blue Beetle movie that's coming out this year on HBO Max, is it a part of this shit, or is that getting dusted too? Like, any movie that comes out with DC lately, until like James Gunn says anything about it, they fucking don't matter. They honestly don't matter. If it's not the Batman series having a sequel, or the Jokers, which are all side projects, it don't fucking matter.
Damn, I'm like, dang, that Thanos snap took this long to get to DC.
Yeah, they tried to snap it a couple of times, but shit was all divided and also loosely put together so much that they was like, all right, yeah, time to snap. They snapped a couple times. It was like Thanos in Endgame when he snapped and he realized nothing was happening, so he snapped a couple more times. It was like, fuck, come on, man. So that's being done off. Like we were saying before, we got Royal Rumble coming up this weekend.
Wait.
So that's a good mixing of all that stuff.
I wonder what Dwayne's thoughts are on this whole DC thing.
I wonder what Dwayne's thoughts in both situations, both the Royal Rumble, wink wink,
right,
and the whole. I mean, kind of one could prove it to the other, because of the situation that happened in DC. This nigga got to come back in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, for real.
Shit, he looking at that. He looking at that Royal Rumble, that Mania, stuff, saying, I got to get my love back. I got to get people to like me again.
Right, he's like, I'm gonna eliminate Peacemaker, throw him out.
Yeah, shit. There you go. Start some other smoke out the side, because Peacemaker staying. Peacemaker and John Cena together like PB and J. So you know that nigga. John Cena's like Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. That nigga said, I'm never leaving. John Cena says, I'm fine. I don't know about that Dwayne fella, but I'm fine.
Dwayne gonna be like, this for you, James. Don't Peacemaker right over the top rope.
Shit, you know who James Gunn fuck with? He fuck with John Cena. He fuck with Batista, but he don't fuck with no Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know what he fuck with? He said Attitude Era, Russia baby.
Oh man.
He said I'm an O2 baby. He said I saw Dwayne and I said get the F out.
Oh nah.
Shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, that finally came back to budget, didn't it, Dwayne?
Oh man.
But yeah, so also we got dropping now for people to know specifics. This is dropping on Nintendo Switch Online. Not in the general. I guess it depends on if you have the classic setup similar stuff in general of what you have to see if you can play this game. But most people are finding out this week because they dropped a trailer on it. But 007 GoldenEye, the famous Nintendo 64 game, is finally dropping on Nintendo Switch Online, and it's coming with the multiplayer and shit like that. So I mean, everybody on that shit, everybody ready to play a classic. GoldenEye was everybody's jam back in the day, both soundtrack and and if you could get the crew together in the house, that shit was a melee of messy proportions where you try to get
yes,
every gun together and shooting and shit. So that shit gonna be fire on the Switch and the Xbox Game Pass. Niggas like to do collab shit, so online gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a lit time.
So that's gonna be a great multiplayer in the book show.
Yo, you definitely did that. That's a throwback.
Yep, that's a quality throwback right there. So everybody excited about that shit. That's gonna be fire for the Switch. On Arcade pretty much.
Yep.
So that, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about is some shit that was going around on Twitter, Facebook, all the social medias and shit like that. Did you see what was happening with this one artist? And this was talked about today by Tony Weaver as well. The one artist that created all the grown-up version of the Rugrats and stuff like that with their family shit.
Yes, I did.
Yep, and the controversy around it, so around with Susie Carmichael, where once again it's one of those things that is a blind spot to any person. I don't even know if the artist was I don't think the artist, but or maybe it is, but nonetheless, so they drew all these grown up like family member having as like Rugrats and stuff like that, and you see the only one that don't really got a full-fledged family being a single mother, strong-willed. She looked tired as hell in that photo too, with straight full hair and stuff like that, was Susie Carmichael. And you're like, this obviously is bad stereotype, because you saw all the other white kids and stuff like that, or like white looking kids all having like families and shit going on, and they drawing and stuff like that. Then why you singled out Susie Carmichael to be the single parent with 2 kids, looking tired as hell, looking like she working and doing everything under the sun, and this is a blatant bad stereotype. And then Tony even followed up in his video where he talked about how they was talking to the artist, and he was talking about, I want her to be strong-willed and all this other shit. And I'm like, this adds to the stereotype again. Stop making these women out to be having the stress and all this stuff. Like, we put so much shit on black women, and we stress black women so much to the point of breakdown and all this other stuff. And I'm like, why put the stereotype out there, man?
Right,
like, you could have obviously not do that. like there was so many pitfalls and traps to show that there was like an ugly bias against this, from straight hair to like single mother and all that shit. So I'm happy that other artists decided to fix this with multiple iterations that look even better.
Yeah,
her
I'm like,
with a family, her fixed hair, the kids fixed hair, like fuck.
Right, I'm like, you got all these fair skinned people looking complete, and then I'm like, no, we not.
Exactly. And then on top of that, it's just like, this is the little things that we talk about, why people have to be in the room, because it's that kind of biases that happen all the fucking time. And then you just watch shows and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? What is this?
Yo, for real. And I'm just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, nah.
I saw it going around before everybody did the fixed edits, and we all and collectively saw that shit. We was like, the fuck is going on here? What is this? They thought they did something cutesy, and everybody else is praising it and shit like that, until all the black people got a hand of this, and we was like, now why do you think we talk about it? Why do you obviously think we talk about it? It's because of shit like this. It gets viral, and it go around, and then shit gets messy and makes a name for all this shit. And there's nothing wrong with a single parent working hard, but at the same time, this is a bad stereotype. It's all about bad optics.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's optics.
Yeah, fuck around and shit like that. So that's why you gotta big praise people to be in the room, and skilled artists to actually change and actually look, stuff that we want to see. Shit look good. Like, what the fuck?
Yep, and I like the options that they brought out after the fact. I was like, okay, there we go. I'm like,
yep. I didn't like or share that shit until I saw the fixed iteration. So I'm fucking with that. I'm big ups to all our black artists that saw
they was on it.
They was on it, and I like the movement of that shit. That's how we get that shit.
Yep.
All right, so that's the end of Nerd Reboot news for this week. So we shift over. It's time for the main event. main event segment, we down with BMP in a slight maneuver on the Sentai and Power Ranger genre, like special in general. So we doing this week the highly thought at Big Bad Beetleborg episode 1 and 2 for sure. And let's get into some fast facts. So the history behind this is an American live action superhero TV series by Saban and Toei Animation and Toei TV. This is 2 seasons that make up this show, and under like two different banner names pretty much. Running from September 1996 to March 1998 with 88 episodes, which, man, 88 episodes ain't nothing to breeze at. Especially being a side project of Power Rangers and stuff like that, 88 episodes is a ton. It played on Fox more relatively at Fox Kids, adapted from footage of Joku B-Fighter and B-Fighter Kabuto. We have villains and equipment can be seen spread around Power Ranger seasons down the line for sure. This is a more comedy of the week over specific action style, but they still have the action in there. The reason for this downfall was due to them running out of episodes actually to adapt and dropping the series altogether, because Saban ultimately is kind of like a cheap product that kind of like the guy if you watch from the Toys That Made Us, if you hear all the interviews from Hai Saban, he's trying to get the most out of the least pretty much.
Yep.
So like
not trying to spend no money.
That's literally his philosophy. So like as they ran out of footage, they wasn't making no like American footage to go with the shit and spending the actual money to continue the actual successful show. So they was like, cut their losses. We have Power Rangers that keep running and running and running. So we're just gonna, I would go with that. So that's ultimately what happened. Big Bad Beetleborgs in general. They was actually beating Power Rangers season 3 in the rating by a lot, but the season 3 of Power Rangers was not doing as well as Big Bad Beetleborgs. So that proved to you why this shit was still stoking up the flame and pretty much working. The only thing that literally went wrong was they ran out of episodes and they just did not win. So it was primed to be the success that Mask Rider was not.
Oh boy!
I mean, it was plain and simple. It's plain and simple. Like, Mask Rider had like 40 episodes, and they had double it. Like, it was plain and simple. They was getting the ratings that Mask Rider was not.
Because Mask Rider needed more Furbus.
Yeah, sure. That's what they.
That's what we go with.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Yep.
3 kids unearth a magical creature from an item and grants them wishes to be superheroes out of a comic book, but they ain't the only things that come out of it. That's given a general basis around it. So let's go into episode 1, Beetle Rock Part 1.
All right. So this episode starts and we're in the lovely town of Charterville.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously we gonna start about did yours start the same way? Because mine started off with the intro of it. Of
course.
The narrating story. I said the narrating story with the iconic Chi style theme intro for everyone on the show, and giving us our main look at the cast. But this
theme was mid.
Yeah,
this theme was mid, so nothing to write home about.
Cheesy vibes, yeah.
So we got the intro.
And then, what was it? We got lightning shakes a house that spooks pretty much some kids. So we started in that old house.
Yep, so that's Hillhurst Mansion.
Yep.
Right, so you see the light, and then we see, Vaughn and Trip?
Yep.
Running up out of the house.
And boy, did we get an old tech alert. Because he said, I was going to grab my cell phone. And you saw that shit back, and you was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That's one of them. That's not even a flip phone. That's one of them Army style, hook that shit up with the backpack.
Yep. And then the monster took his phone, and Vaughn and Trip was out. They was like, nope, we out of here.
Yeah.
They hop in their expensive limo, they drive and get them out. Like, get out of here.
And that driver give no fucks.
Yeah,
and keep that in mind, because that driver's still not gonna give no fucks later. I mean, you see these kids going into a spooky ass house and shit like that. You're like, well, okay, shit, he don't pay me enough.
Listen, that driver was over it. He not
pretty
charged.
much.
Right, and then we get some little previews of the town of Charterville. Typical suburban town. Nothing crazy here. Right? And then we get our intro to Drew and Joe.
Yep.
And they riding their bikes. They ain't doing nothing special. They're actually going to the comic book store. So here we get our intro to Zoom Comics.
Yep.
And I'm missing somebody.
You missed the homie.
I was waiting for you to bring it in.
I was like, did we meet up with the homie Roland?
So Roland is working on his magic trick, and Drew was saying he was apologizing, Joe at the baseball game.
Yep.
And she's telling him how she killed it. And so, Drew asks if Heather is in there, and then Joe proceeds to cut him one good time.
Of course, that's most. I mean, if we haven't gotten the vibes yet, this is brother and sister.
Oh yeah, Roland joined in for the fun.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, we see two motorcycles pull up, and I was wondering who they were. We take off the helmet, then we see to the Nana.
Yeah, we got the sync riding into like pretty much the comic shop, and then we see Roland's Nano. She obviously come in a ball of energy trying to live life. That's the granny you want out here.
Yeah.
Living big life. She definitely retired and living it.
Oh yeah, she definitely living it up. I'm like, I want to be like you when I get.
Shit, her biker friend was like, "Damn son, Nano, you lit out here. You almost left me in the dust."
Right? She like, Nano was like, yo, that turn was trash, yo. She's like, you gotta lean to get mean. I was like, okay.
You want that energy, man? Fuck with it.
Right, so we get to the comic book store. We meet Roland's Pop.
Yep, he runs the comic book store.
Yep. And so now they're all looking around and looking at comics. Joe picks up the Beetleborg magazine. We see Heather at the front desk, and Drew is trying to talk to Heather, and he's reading a ballet magazine, and then Joe cuts him again.
Yup.
Talking about, I got the perfect tutu for you. I'm like, yo.
Oh, young sister vibes.
Ooh.
Shit has already given me also Ghost Rider vibe.
Yeah. So Drew knocks over some stuff, and Roland just cracking up because he see what's going on, and he peep it.
Of course, it's when you see your man's trying to put the moves and just embarrassing himself slowly.
Right, so Drew goes back over it. He gives Joe a quick like, what, I'm tired of your shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Joe is like, yo, just go ask her out already. He's like, nah. And he's like, so then he's reading one of the Beetleborgs magazines. He's like, I wish I was Beetleborg. And then we get this whole scenario where Heather's a princess and Drew's the blue Beetleborg. He's fighting the stingers. And
the moment we get into this, I started to hear familiar voices that'll probably be in there like later down the line. I already started to hear Furio from Lost Galaxy. I was like, oh, all right. So there's future references there and there and there.
Right, so the blue stinger beats all these bad guys and he saves Heather and so forth and so on. Classic stuff. Yep. So you like, I'm happy. He's like, yay. I'm like, okay.
Right when he's starting to put he trying to make the maneuvers and moves out here come the rich kids.
Here come Vaughn and Trip.
Mm-hmm.
Trip out here stealing candy.
Yep.
Heather's like, what are you doing? Like, bro, you gotta pay for it. It's like, my dad owns the building.
Yeah, see? Rich kid shit. They was wearing classic snobby rich guy attire with the sweater and all that other.
Yep, they knock over Heather's cup. Heather's like, yo, you gonna get me in trouble. She's trying to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Then the rest of them come. Then Joe and Roland come over. The Beetleborg magazine. Heather asked me about it. Yeah, they grabbed it. And then Ron and Trip and them, of course, looking down on them. And it's like, yo. And then they go back and forth. And they're talking about how they went to Hillhurst Mansion. And they went there and they stayed. Mm-hmm. And then Joe and Roland was like, nah, y'all lying.
Yep, they go back and forth. They definitely go back and forth, and then the challenge is on. They challenge the three of them to stay at the spooky, so it's pretty much the spooky mansion event with all of them all together if they brave enough for that shit.
Yep. So Joe and Roland was like, bet.
Yep. Heather hears in and she trying to warn them out of that shit.
Yeah, she's like, nah, don't y'all know that place is haunted? She's like, nah, y'all don't go up in there. Yep. They was like, nah, it's on.
Challenge is on.
Right?
What the hell? What was was this just for bragging rights or was there actually something on the line?
No, I think it was just for bragging rights.
All that for bragging rights.
Yeah, you tell me. Really
I would try to get something out of these rich kids.
Yeah, I think they just really don't like each other. They just want to stick it to them.
Yeah, this is crew versus crew vibes pretty much.
Right? They was like, nah,
don't fuck with you.
Anyway, they embarrass Trip and Vaughn.
Yep. So we move over to the mansion, and the trio makes it, and the rich kids make it. So everybody's there, and once again, like I said before, driver sees like 5 kids going into this random ass abandoned ass spooky ass mansion, and he like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Right. Old boy was like, yeah, they don't pay me enough to do all that.
Fuck out of here. I'll just right here by the car. If anything happens to y'all, well.
He was like, I'm gonna go in here and take a nap real quick.
Yeah, shit. Then he could probably put in his headphones, put a book over his face and call it a day.
Yeah, they heard no screams, nothing. Like,
no.
They probably screaming. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, oh, that happened, really?
Shit, that's crazy. Well, you still here though, so I'm not fired.
Right? He's like, I did my job. So now they go into the mansion, right? And we see this old, run down, very old, boarded up house. So
yep, it's a mess, but I mean, while the kids start to do their old Scooby-Doo style exploring and shit like that, splitting up and maneuvering through the house is kind of coming alive low-key while they're exploring it.
See eyes moving and all kinds of stuff.
And then, like, creatures are leaving the paintings and shit.
Yep. This shit is wild. The kids is wild, like, Now, mind you, at this time, freaking Vaughn and Chip are already plotting.
Yep. They was up to no good from jump. They definitely tried to corner these three into a whole ass trap. So they go into a mystery room. But, like, before they hit the room, you see a Frankenstein monster kind of walk past them.
Yeah, boy. So, unbeknownst to them, which was crazy, that we got, we got Frankenbeans. That was Frankenbeans. That he just walked past them. He's like, they ain't peeped at all.
Nope.
So, now, Joe, Drew, and Roland, they're looking around, looking around all over the place.
Yep.
Vaughn and Chip are plotting. They got masks and all kinds of stuff. They're like, yeah, we gonna win this bet. We gonna scare them the heck out of here.
Yep. So, as Trios is making their way and maneuvering all that stuff, Joe opens up a room and then starts speaking to the mummy monster that seems like he's knocked out in his tomb, and then he starts answering back.
Yep. So Joe was like, she's looking at him, and then Mom started talking, and Joe was not with it.
Her reaction was clean. She was like, nope.
Yep, she's like, nah. She's like, oh, nah, what we not gonna do is this.
I was dying because when he started to unwrap, I said, why he look like La Parka?
Yo, you wasn't the only one that thought that.
I was like, what's going on?
I was like, not them getting chased by LA Park. I was like, no.
And then on top of that, what also had me down was Joe's run. Joe's run was both funny. Hands
up, like, like, yo.
I was like, what in the goofy, oofy? This gives more Scooby-Doo vibes than Velma.
Yo, it's so funny, because Drew and Roland, they open the door, knock Mom's back. Drew looks around at the door, so he bumps, and he was like, oh, nah, we out.
He said, I took that shit personal.
Roland, they say, nah, he saw Drew zip, he zipped right behind him. He's like, no.
I mean, shit, Roland activated his black card.
Yep, so at this point, they're hiding in one of the rooms, and Mom's looking for them, and then he runs into Frankenbeans. He asks Frankenbeans if he saw him. Frankenbeans like, my brain is slow. Brain little capacity, I can't help you.
Mummy gives Frank some juice.
And then he asks Frankenbeans how he feels. He's like, much better. He's like, help me look for these kids.
Yep. And then in the midst of all this, a spider is crawling up Rowan's leg pretty much, but he low-key fricks it to Frank, and he starts eating it.
That's about tasty. And I'm like, and then they're like, deal the kids, get them.
Mm-hmm. And then they think they all cornered and catch by these monsters, but then they run and kind of accidentally escape through a secret panel.
Yep. And Frankenbeans gets his finger stuck in the panel. He's like, oh, my finger. You hit him behind the other wall like, Frankie, shut up. You can't.
And that crunch was nasty.
It was. Frankenbeans like, oh, my finger. Mom's like, you started to annoy me, Frank.
He said, I had it up to here with your ass, man.
Right. So at this point, they're exploring this cat. They're exploring little secret passage, but they're in right now. They see some bats. They duck.
Yep, just like a Scooby-Doo.
Yep. So they go to hide from the bats, and then next thing you know, Joe and Roland are gone, and Drew's like, yo, we are looking for them. Like, yo, this isn't funny.
And then he gets himself caught up in that rotating bookcase.
Yep. And then it spins him around a bit and just flings him to the floor.
Oh, facts.
I was like, all right. Yo, the way he was hanging on.
Facts. I mean, shit, let go for what? He was spinning. That shit was on high velocity.
Yeah, he was like, nah, just stop him with woof. Like, oh, shoot. So at this point, they're all back together again, and they're in this room.
And then they see the organ.
Right? They're like, oh, this looks nice. Let me go press this.
Of course, just go press it.
Right? And at this point, we see Vaughn and Trip, and they meet Count Fangula.
Yup.
And they hightailed it up out that house.
They smacked him with the whole ass door. He got his teeth stuck up in that bitch.
Yep. So it was like, nah, we out. Then we see Frankenbeans moving around again, right? And he opened the door and he sees Count Fangula hanging on the wall.
My son is hanging to you. He mumbling to himself. He like, yo, somebody open the door. Come on, man. I'm kind of stuck.
Yo, son, just seeing some teeth in the door. I'm like, yo. So like I said, there, Drew, Joe, and Roland in the back of the room, and Joe accidentally put your elbow on the organ, and the organ started getting electrified.
Yep. And we see the first members pop up. We see the pipettes.
Yeah, and they're introducing
big old Flabber. These introducing are pretty much our Genie, Elvis, Ronald McDonald, Jay Leno, Blue Magician.
Yeah. So I can see in Flabber, I see heavy influence from Jim Carrey's Mask.
I see so much shit. I see so much shit. Yeah, it's Jim Carrey's Mask, but there's so much other shit in there. Man, that man is an amalgamation so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flabber and the Pipettes right after that also, they start getting big silly the second he free.
Right, yeah, they put on a whole little show.
Yep. And shit gets super weird with Flabber and gets a bit much for Rowan as he saw, like, he stretched out his neck like a snake and Rowan pretty much passed out.
Yep, he was like, oh, yeah, this ain't it.
Shit, I don't blame him too. I seen a lot of monsters today and you about the weirdest.
Yeah, and he woke back up. He's like, I thought y'all won't believe the dream I had. He's like, oh no, we still here, my
nigga. We still here. Get up.
Like it's checkout time. Nope.
Yeah. So Flabber said he's a phasm, and he offers them a wish. Whatever the phasm is, he's definitely part genie.
Yep. And they think about it, like, all right. Joe was like, yo, if we gonna make a wish, let's make it good.
Yeah. Drew started cooking out on that idea, and Joe further went off that shit. She was like, definitely, let's become Beetleborgs. Fuck it, we got this comic, right?
Yep.
And they set out for, and that's how they set up. They set up for that wish, and then that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
So the ending theme is obviously super wacky, and Flabber's pretty much playing around.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So, what's your final impression on the first episode?
This is strange.
Yes. This is a culmination of a whole bunch of strange shit. I said it is both a dry start and extremely wacky, which it leans in more to be like less serious. Obviously, where I could see them using that as a strength to differentiate themselves from Power Rangers, because Power Rangers was like, it was wacky, but there was a serious element to it that they took themselves serious, so it wasn't as wacky. This one was straight wacky off. Like this felt like they didn't take themselves serious by the tone, music, and all the shit. Like they was running into the monsters, and they looked like the most goofiest motherfuckers ever.
Yeah, I can see why the kids like this.
Oh yeah, this was all you was getting out of Power Rangers, except this was the comedy and laughter you was looking for from. This was like everything that the parents walked in to watch Power Rangers with their kids, and it was like, this shit is wacky, but they're taking it too serious. Then they watched Big Bad Beetleborgs, and it was like, this is wacky, but they ain't taking themselves serious. So you know why the kids is laughing shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like I said, as a rewatch, you would only like honestly currently watch and continue this, see it like move on the story next, and you try to get laughs at it, but they ain't get the suits yet, so obviously you go forward to at least see that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, as a kid, this was good.
Oh yeah, this was high octane children comedy.
Yeah, watching it back now, it's just like, oh, so this is how the parents felt.
Oh, big fact.
Right, so of course, we're ready to step into episode 2.
Yep, episode 2, Beetle Rock Part 2. So once again, same vibes we had with the theme. They recapped them up to asking for the wish, and now we're into it, right?
Yep. So they asked Flabber, so, hey, we want to be Beetleborgs. She's like, Beetle, huh? Beetle what?
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck is that?
He's like, is that a rock band?
He said, I've been stuck in the organ for how long? What the hell is a Beetleborg? Is
right?
that, did they upgrade the Beatles? I've been gone for a minute, guys.
And so they give him the comic book. He's looking at the comic book, and he looks at the rats, and he was like,
well, y'all want to be that?
Okay.
Shit, y'all want to be a couple of rats? I bet.
And then he turned him into rats, and they was like, nah, this ain't what we dashed for.
Add on to the comedy element of them turning into rats, still you can hear their voices out of it,
right.
So that's even more good, thanks.
Like Flabber's like, listen, I'm a little rusty.
Charges up, turned them back, and then he was like, all right, let's put in the full power and kick them in, and bam, they become them superheroes.
Yeah.
I said they suit up to comic transition pretty.
Yeah, I've always liked that about Beetleborgs, the whole their transformations.
I think they captured, just like how we talked about how things go from like one property to another. I think they captured the coming straight out of a comic element perfectly.
Yeah, they did really good there. They really did awesome with that aspect. And it was funny because they're like, yo, we're in the comic. Like, yo, Flabber, what's good?
Yeah. It was like, all right, we gotta bust out now.
He's like, hold on.
He's like, I'm cooking, guys. I'm cooking.
Right?
So shout outs to like, all right. So right off the rip, when we got out, let's call a spade because this is stepping into a couple of other things that like Power Rangers took along the lines and it didn't work out. These are kids that are in like full, adult regalia, ranger form type shit, like when they suit up and stuff like that. And that's obviously an element that we'll take later on with Justin and Turbo and stuff like that. But people enjoyed this. They didn't like Justin. So it's like there's a transition level off in the level of tone and shit like that in general. And then also the OG, colors and stuff like that. We had our first low key like girl read anything.
Yeah, Justin was I think it was the transformations for Justin that did it, really, because
at the same time, it didn't show them like starting out small and growing big, but it was like they're obviously weren't the same size in the Beetleborgs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fact that they did it right with the transformation, I think Justin, this is like every time you saw his transformation,
it's funny going from the small man to big man.
Right? They could have done exactly what they did here for Beetleborgs, and they would have been fine.
Honestly, imagine he even though they were like comic accurate and stuff like that, like imagine Flabber saw that shit and he was like, that makes no sense, and then he gave them the suits and they're just like short. Right?
Imagine Jordan, little red Beetleborgs.
He's like, that's not intimidating at all. Fuck out of here. I'm gonna give y'all a bonus. Y'all getting a growth spurt.
Right? So at this point, while they were talking to Flabber in their suits, right? Frank and Beans and the squad.
Yep, that's the monster squad.
Yeah, right. Mums and Count Frangula, they show up. Yep. And so they get it on with the Beetleborgs.
They said, "Fuck out of here!" And they went for the smoke right off the rip. They saw them niggas. All right, y'all been chasing along. They done zapped them motherfuckers.
Yep. And then like Flowers like, listen, don't hurt them. They're harmless. And they was like, listen, y'all leave us alone. We leave y'all alone. And they was like, bet. He said
if they ain't no smoke with us, they ain't no smoke with you. So there you go.
Now speaking of smoke, mind you, we see the comic book smoking, and we see some stuff missing.
Good transition, bro. We start to see pretty much Evil Afoot start to leave that motherfucking comic book.
Oh yeah, because then we see Noxic and the crew, and now they outside. They're like, yo, we outside.
Yup. They big hype.
They're like, oh, we in 3D, word.
Yup. They out. They call up the Magdeborgs, and they dip.
Right. So they just all around the city, like, oh, this is what the human world's like.
Yeah, they definitely terrorizing, and in the midst of that, Flabber realized what he done did. He was like, oh shit. So he let the kids know what's up about the big escape.
Yep. He was like, guys, I didn't close the comic book, and Evil got out.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Sorry guys. Looks like you gonna have to handle some extra shit.
Yep. He was like, shoot.
So we got the three running amok, and they know who they know who the big boss is, but they trying to get their shit in. They trying to enjoy their time, so they terrorizing the town all around.
Right? Yeah, they was like, yeah. They're like, we gotta go to the boss super now. We gonna have a little fun out here.
Yo, they make a lot of comic book jokes as they terrorize the town, and then they go into the movies. and yo, I just like how old girl ran the nigga for his popcorn and snacks.
Yo, you saw that? Yo, the way she just like, yeah, what? You like, give me.
She then looked at him. She said, "Move about your seat." I was like, "Oh shit! You can leave the popcorn and the snacks, my nigga." Right. He put that shit in her pocket. That nigga pulled that side chocolate out his lapel, and he was like, "Yo, here you."
Son was like, he looked up at her. He was like, "Nah." No.
I was dying at the fact that the other two could eat food, but she pointed out the fact she was like, "My jaw don't move. I can't eat this." Yep. I was dying.
She's like, "My 3D is messed up. This ain't it."
She like, "How y'all niggas can move y'all shit, but I can't move mine."
The way she had smelled the popcorn, she's like,
He said, "I can smell it, but I can't taste it. I'm not eating anything. This ain't fair."
Right? Son just like, yeah, let me just get up out of here, cause this ain't it. Right. And mind you, everybody else is in the theater.
Everybody was chilling until they started hearing them niggas being a bit too loud. The first person that tried to shush them, they turned around and said, "Oh shit, what the?"
Right? It's like, they all like, oh, look at this movie. And yo, it's so funny because she stole old girl popcorn too.
Yeah, they was having a slew of popcorn. They said, "Oh, y'all about to bounce?"
Old girl went to look for her popcorn and she ain't see it. She turned around. She was like, "Oh, nah."
She said, I'll take that, and let's go. Shit, we gonna meet the boss with a snack.
Yep. And then everybody else saw it. They was out.
Oh, they was gone. So in the midst of that, all that shit going around and terrorizing throughout the city, we got Flabber singing his way into sadness.
Yeah, Flabber was like, "Oh, I let him out." I'm like, "Yo, Flabber, find a way to fix it."
And then as the mess goes down, Flabber calls the fucking viewing globe.
Are we surprised?
I mean, shit.
Literally the viewing globe.
Listen. This is Saban. They was like they not gonna explain shit. They was like viewing globe did. Hey, same shit, y'all.
Listen, we working on the budget.
Yeah, the budget of I don't give a fuck. I'm not spending more.
Right, exactly.
They acted like this came out during the third season of Power Rangers. You can't tell me they wasn't making their money at the time.
They probably was, but they still didn't want to spend money. Even when they ain't making money, they ain't want to spend money.
But that's what I'm saying. After the first season of Power Rangers and after the first Christmas of when Power Rangers came came out, the money flew into them motherfuckers like never before. They was taking over the market, everything. So by the time Big Bad Beetleborgs came out, the stretch of their budget, they didn't want to spend a dime. They had the money, they just ain't want to spend it.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, they had a couple of other shows in between that kind of, yeah. So at this point, we see Knoxley again. They finally go to the crypt, and we finally see the big boss. Finally.
He said, what took y'all so long?
He was like, nothing, boss. We was just hanging around.
Popped out that grave like, yo, motherfuckers, get in here.
Right? He's like,
what y'all rambling inside this grave, bro?
Right. So they go inside.
My son got a whole setup with everything in there. They got skulls and spooks and all that other shit. They said, fuck what these kids think. Y'all gonna see some scary shit now. And
so they was telling Vexor, Big Boss, about the Beetleborgs. Like, listen, the Beetleborgs, they're here too, and they're stronger. And he's like, boss, we need a plan.
Yeah, and his plan, his ultimate plan, the plan that's supposed to end all things. He said, my plan is to destroy the Beetleborgs. They was like, that's it? Could have came up with that, boss. That's kind of lame, but we'll do it anyway. But like, that's it.
Yeah, cause Jara was like, that's the plan.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, you dead ass? Like,
right?
I'm pretty sure, we brought you the news, so obviously we was gonna destroy him, but like, we thought you had more.
Right? Probably looking like this is a whack plan, yo.
Yeah, like, the mission is to destroy him. Okay, but how?
The type was like, I bet.
You got some extra weapons, you got some side niggas, you got sting wingers, like, what you got, bro?
He's like, you three, go. Carry out the plan. The type was like,
I know under their breath they was like, yeah, he's gonna do it anyway. Whatever. Alright, boss, sure.
So they go back to Hellcrest and, kick in the mansion. And they start looking for the Beetleborgs. And he go Flabber after he realizes they're there. And he was like, they're here.
The three heroes are ready. They gotta, so Flabber pretty much explains what they gotta do to call their powers. They gotta whistle to call the Beetle Binders.
Yep.
Which is their morphers pretty much, and Beetle Blast to transform.
Yep.
But right after they transform, they ran straight to the monsters. They said, "Zap, niggas."
Listen, Drew told him to be careful because it's likely a trap. And as soon as he jumped down, Noxie said, "Trap!" Hold that
shit. They was on there quicker than Rita was looking for them Power Rangers.
Oh, son, listen.
They was right on the base, right? They was in their house. Fuck with them right off rip.
Yep, they was ready. I give them that much. They was ready.
Shit, they did it upright. The second guys transformed, they said, "Ha ha, zap!"
Right?
They broke the rule from jump.
Right? They was like, "You're lucky being here sooner. We didn't catch you up before you transform."
We was watching how y'all figured y'all got y'all morphers in the first point. Y'all lucky we didn't shoot y'all in.
Like we watched We knew what was up.
Shit, we saw the first 2 seasons.
Right?
We ain't getting done out.
Right? So then the battle between the Borgs and the monsters come on. And the Beetleborgs eventually start to wash them.
Yep, they fight as to how they see them in the comics. So I like the element that they didn't like out front. A lot of shows when they get powers they automatically know karate or some shit like that. They basically fought with what they seen from the comic book with a little bit of kid instincts and stuff like that. So they actually proved that they are kids. They move like kids. They start fighting like what they see in actual shit, and then they just put a little hijinks in it. So you know that they're kids. So that's how you get connected.
Yeah, they literally show that they're just kids with superpowers now.
Exactly. They're not magically. They don't have like kung form. They don't start aya and all that shit like they were Power Rangers. They know their lane.
Yeah, there was no judo throws. There were no kicks. There was dodging, spins, and throws.
Like specifics on the dodge. They talking like hijinks dodge.
Yep.
Like you dodge them like a kid in like a chase area or some shit like that.
Yep.
So yeah, they do that. They start to watch the monsters pretty much. The monsters escape and they fail and they return back to Big Boss already. He was like, God damn, I left y'all like 2 seconds. What happened?
Yo, Vexor was not with it.
He was like, guys, I gave you a job. and y'all was already like 50% done. Y'all zapped them. What happened?
Right.
How they whip your ass?
He was, and the gang was like, listen, the comic book's still open. We could call some more reinforcements, get some squad out here, and really take them out.
I know under their breath they said, that's the idea, sir. That's the idea. You said to destroy them. We said, hello, there's more monsters coming out the comic. We can use them instead of us getting hurt.
Like, he's like, yeah, we could call in our monster friends and really do some damage. They look at him like,
should have been option 1, sir.
Yeah.
That's a lot. They have
right. And so that, back at this point, they're Drew, Joe, and Roland are looking for Flabber.
Yep. Flabber plays cats and warns them about getting all the evil back into the comic pretty much.
Yeah.
And they get the option as they all, well, not not really the option, but they get told pretty much they got to continue as Beetleborgs, and they pretty much down for it.
Yep, and then we find out that they all have civilian powers.
Which, listen, on top of that, I mean, that's a cool element from Jump right there. That they now got superpowers as a bonus to it. Yeah. Joe's strong. Drew got telekinetic powers, and Rowan got super speed. That's dope.
Yep.
That's honestly that's another plus. You got their suited forms, and then out of their suited forms, they get bonus powers. So kids are watching kids with superpowers. That's also like a double up. Like you could obviously see why people are fans of that. Like right on rip with it. So and then obviously like Flabber says, powers got to stay a secret. All of them.
Yep. Like listen, you can't tell nobody you ain't got a super speed. You can't tell nobody you can beat them. You can transform. None of that
shit. He said I'm learning from the book of Zordon, like child labor and secrets.
Yeah, not child labor.
You know what it is, child labor and secrets, baby. That's what he said when I let him when he said I could borrow the viewing globe.
Oh, so we were wondering who was between Zordon and Gosei. I guess we know it was Flabber.
Yep. And Gosei ain't learn a goddamn thing. Shit. I saw a Facebook post by the homie that been doing reviews on old shows and shit like that. Uh-huh. He was talking about like who was worse. I think it was like between Gosei and the master from Samurai and Demetria. I was like Gosei.
Oh, without question. Without
question. The other two are bad, but Gosei is top quality worse. He activated his one mission was to activate when Zordon was gone. This nigga activated like 20 years later.
Right? Zordon been gone. It's like
you're late. You're so late. So much shit has happened, sir. What do you mean? Why are you turning on now? Who found your rust bucket ass and turned you on? I feel like it was a similar situation of how Ant-Man got brought into the shit in Endgame. I feel like a rat was downstairs and he accidentally ran over the button that turned on Gosei.
Yo.
And this nigga started capping. He was like, they said I activate when Zordon discontinues, and I'm like, no, a rat turned you on for sure. Somebody turned you on by mistake. Zordon lied to you. He said, you my failsafe. If I die, you will activate. And Zordon said, once he turns on, I don't gotta hear his annoying ass anymore.
Yeah.
His ass talking about some Gosei morphers. Fuck out of here.
They're like, bro, Zordon been gone for a minute, bro. You what?
Zordon beyond in the afterlife. Nigga said I died 20 years ago, man. What you mean?
Like, nah, bro, nah. So what was you doing all this time?
Rat napping ass nigga. But yeah, so definitely all that shit. Flabber definitely a higher student in the learning lessons of Zordon pretty much. So child labor laws, secrets and all. So they say bye to Flabber for now and they head on.
Yeah, right. So we did they're coming back to Zoom Comics. Mm-hmm. We see Heather and Roland's pops outside.
Yep. We run into the rich folk.
Yep, Nana too. And like you said, then we see the rich folk. Yep. And yo, the driver got cotton in his ears. Did he have cotton in his ears?
This nigga don't give a fuck, man. I can't tell you. He said, that's not specifically my job. He said, spooky house ain't part of the resume, brother.
Yo, I'm like, bro, just don't give no
Not one bit. Not one.
So then we see Vaughn and Trip.
Yep. So they run into the trios, and the trios said they won the bet.
Yeah, right? And they were like, no, you didn't. Like, nah, you left, son. Y'all was gone. We heard y'all hollering.
Nah, y'all, they talking about hollering now. Y'all niggas was booking it out there. What you talking about?
Right.
Especially with all that shit. So they wasn't believing it, and they wasn't fucking with him, so they tried to clown him up. And Drew was like, fuck what Flabber said. I'm gonna use these powers.
Right?
He saw that. First of all, I thought that was a paint can. It was like a paint looking can on top of that shit, but it ended up just being water in there.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we got like the little ending credits right before they get drenched.
Yeah, they freeze frame. He turned that shit over, and they clowning, and they think they getting away with it, and then they freeze frame them right before the splash, and then everybody laughs.
Right.
And then we get the ending theme, which is the same vibes, and pretty much we see the monsters acting super silly.
Right. And it was so funny. It's so funny that the ending credits, yo.
Yeah. The ending credits feels like bloopers, but they feel like in-canon bloopers.
Yeah.
So what's your final impression on the second episode and the show in general?
The second episode, it was fine. It tied in. Overall, like I said, if I was a kid, I'd probably rock with this, and I did back then. Yep. As an adult, it's just weird.
It's a strange thing to look at. I think we've had a couple of YouTube like experiments that deep dive into the concept of three kids fighting a fucking genie and an organ grinder lamp and shit like that. And he's like Elvis, and he grants wishes and shit. Like, you sitting down and getting the concept of this whole shit sounds funny as hell. It's up there as like another quintessential 90s random what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture. But this is definitely like something you feel like this is so super wacky. It's definitely got the kids watching it for sure. It's like quintessential a 90s kid thing, that like a thing that they would watch and not question once at the same time. It's just a whole bunch of shit happening at you. You got like ranger suits, and then you got like a genie like Elvis, and then you got like you got monsters, but they're not the same monsters as the actual monsters that we know. You got Dracula, you got the Wolfman, you got Frankenstein, you got a mummy, and then you're not destroying. These are the good monsters, but then you got the bad monsters coming out of the comic books that are like monsters, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, we got all the tropes.
It's a concept, and you sit there, you just imagine how this group meeting came together at Saban, and it was like, you have footage of anything that's not Power Rangers that you just want to pass around, and it was like, we got this. You want to mix shit together? Sure. If it works, it works. And it worked. It dead ass worked. It worked. The ratings was popping. Legit. The only reason this shit ever hit a downfall was dead ass because they just ran out of episodes and they didn't want to spend more money to work it. That's it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I said, so far it's early time. I can see how it captured the similar audience with Power Rangers pretty much, and why it did a little better than Masked Rider. I mean, Masked Rider had pretty much the same elements, but they kept it serious, but people wasn't fucking with the same seriousness as, like, Masked Rider had everything to work on its principle, as they was literally getting the jumpstart from Power Rangers itself. Like, Big Bad Beetleborgs wasn't getting the Big Bad Beetleborgs was a success to the point that after it finished, they took that shit and brought it over to Power Rangers. The Masked Rider got an upstart from Power Rangers, and it still really didn't work out.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so, I mean, the early edition on the kids, the comedy, the silliness, mixed in with the nice suit, the cool superpower human, and weapons make for a marketing success that continued to pull people until, ran out of ideas. And this is a small, nostalgic, obviously this is a small, nostalgic recommend for people to deep dive into, more or less. I don't know about like fully going into like watching the show just in general, but from a show perspective, probably would have been dropped because of like the wackiness. Like, you just kind of like deep dive this just to, it feels like one of those things you study for the 90s and you're like, oh, this is something that you like talk about in a video specifically because you're like, this is a 90s thing. But other than that, I don't think like overall a grown like person watches the whole thing in general for like, I don't think other than like study purpose.
Well, they did better than VR Troopers.
Well, which will probably be on the list down the line. We got Sentai adjacent shit to work over. We got tons of it.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Yeah, there'll be definitely more ducks in that. But yeah, so closing up shop on Big Bad Beetleborgs and closing that shit up for the week. Got an email set up, blerdbynature@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram at Blerd By Nature, Twitter at Blerd By Nature, Nature spelled Nature. Co-host, hit us with the YouTube.
You can reach us on YouTube by searching for Blerd By Nature Podcast.
Yep. And as always, we're working to drop episodes out. We're working on that vault, and we're working at more episodes drop to hit us into that 2023 season to come. Co-host, do you have any last notes before I hit the outro?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today from Black Thought to Nerd Power. This is Nicholas. We go with Flo.
And this is the man with the plan, Maurice.
And this was another edition of the Blerd By Nature Podcast.
Thank you for listening, everyone. And until next time, peace.
Peace.